It was supposed to be a simple weekend hike. 3 friends, a long trail through the forest, and a camera to record their adventure. None of them knew that the camera would capture something they could never explain. Daniel was the quiet one of the group. He wasn't the kind to talk much, but he always smiled, always calm, always patient. Hiking was his escape. Out there in the forest, he felt at peace. No phone, no noise, no people. Just the whisper of the wind through the trees. The video they recorded starts off like any other trip. Laughter, footsteps crunching through the leaves, someone joking about getting lost. Daniel walks a few steps behind them, waving at the camera, smiling faintly. Everything seems normal. But then, it happens. In a single moment, Daniel is gone. One frame, he's there. The next, empty space. The others don't notice it at first. They keep walking, talking, unaware that one of their friends has vanished right behind them. When they finally realize, you can hear the confusion in their voices. They call his name. They laugh nervously, thinking he's playing a prank. But minutes pass and there's no answer. They start searching between the trees, their voices echoing through the forest. The sound of their footsteps grows frantic. One of them finds Daniel's backpack leaning against a tree, but there's no sign of him. His footprints stop at that very spot, as if he simply disappeared into thin air. The recording continues, growing darker as the sun sets. You can sense the panic rising. Their laughter is gone now, replaced by silence, by heavy breathing, by fear. They keep calling his name over and over, but the forest doesn't answer. The next morning, police and search teams arrive. They comb through the entire forest, dogs, drones, everything. But there is no trace of Daniel. No broken branches, no clothing, no signs of a struggle. It's as if the forest itself swallowed him whole. The camera was found on the ground, still recording. When investigators reviewed the footage, they noticed something strange in the final second before Daniel vanished. A faint blur behind him, like a tall figure reaching toward his shoulder. It's almost invisible, but it's there. Some experts said it was a glitch, a trick of the light, but others weren't so sure. Some claimed they saw a hand. Some said it looked like a shadow standing between the trees, watching, waiting. What happened to Daniel that day remains a mystery. His family still visits the trail once a year, leaving flowers near the spot where his backpack was found. Locals say that if you go there after dark, you can hear someone calling faintly through the trees. A man's voice, distant and broken, calling for help. But they also say that if you answer, you might never come back. Some forests don't want you there. It began with a sound, a scream, sharp, distant, and echoing through the woods. A man named Travis, a hunter, was alone that night, deep inside the forest, with nothing but his flashlight and his trail camera. He had been out there many times before, but that night, something felt wrong. He said it started around midnight. He was packing up his gear when he heard a woman's voice. She was screaming, not a quick shout or a frightened cry. It was long, broken, desperate. A scream that seemed to carry pain, fear, and something else. Something unnatural. Travis froze. He turned off his light and listened. The scream came again, closer this time, echoing between the trees. He called out, asking if someone needed help. But there was no answer, only silence. And then the sound of slow, dragging footsteps moving through the leaves. He pulled out his camera, recording everything. The night vision flickered to life, showing only the tall trees and thick mist. Then through the haze, something moved. A figure. It looked like a woman, barefoot, wearing a torn white dress. Her hair was tangled, her movements jerky, as if she didn't know how to walk. She stopped between 2 trees, staring at Travis. He couldn't see her face clearly, but her head tilted to one side, unnaturally slow. He whispered to her, asking if she was hurt. She didn't respond. Then she screamed again, louder, sharper, so close it pierced his ears. The camera shook. He stumbled back, and when he lifted the lens again, she was gone. When the police later reviewed the footage, the woman never appeared leaving. She just vanished. No sound of running, no footprints in the mud, no trail. Travis led the authorities to the exact spot. But they found nothing. No torn fabric, no tracks, nothing to suggest anyone had been there. The temperature in that area, however, was oddly colder than the rest of the forest. Locals claimed they'd heard the same scream before. Some said it was the spirit of a woman who went missing there years ago. A young mother searching for her lost child, who never made it back. Others whispered that it wasn't human at all, but something that mimics the voice of people, luring anyone who listens too closely. Travis stopped hunting after that night. He moved out of town and refused to speak about it again. But the footage remains online, and if you watch closely, just before the scream, you can see her face in the distance for a split second, pale, hollow, and staring directly at the camera. Some who have watched it claim they can still hear the scream in their dreams. The forest holds its secrets tightly. Sometimes what you hear calling for help isn't human. And if you follow the voice, it might be the last sound you ever hear. It was supposed to be a peaceful camping trip. 2 friends, a tent, a campfire, and a quiet night deep in the woods. But peace in the distance, you can hear them shouting, breathing hard, crashing through branches. But what's worse is the faint sound following them. There's something unsettling about being alone in the forest at night. The silence isn't real silence. It's filled with tiny, invisible movements, whispers of wind, and distant cracks that remind you you're not truly alone. That's what Ryan learned the himself in his tent, whispering into his camera, describing what he'd found. Halfway the eyes blink. There's a The video begins with laughter. catching flashes of trees and darkness. There's a sound behind him, footsteps fast and heavy. Then a voice, faint, whispering his name. Alex! He turns and the camera catches a glimpse. A figure, pale and tall, stepping from behind a tree. The face is wrong, the eyes too dark. Alex screams and the video drops to the ground. The light flickers for a few seconds, showing only dirt and trembling shadows, before going black. 2 weeks later, a group of hikers found Alex's camera near a riverbank, miles from any trail. His body was never recovered. Forest rangers reviewed the footage. They said it didn't make sense. The final clip showed trees swaying violently, even though there was no wind. And in the last second before the camera